Arsenal Fan TV America, welcome back. Another new episode from this week's Premier League. Arsenal, of course, as you know, play Tottenham. London Derby. You know, it feels like a loss. I'm gonna be honest with you. All the Arsenal fans I personally spoke to, it felt like a loss. And unfortunately, I was watching the game or, listening/watching the game with a Tottenham fan. To them, it felt like a win. Unfortunately, to us, it felt like a loss. And again, because it was a loss. We lost 2 points. That's how I look at it. We also lost second place. How many points? We would have been 2 points away from City because, of course, if we won, we would have had 16 points sitting tight with Liverpool in second. City's first with 18 points. Now we draw, so we drop 2 points. We go down to 14 points. And that makes us what? Fifth. Tight with Tottenham. Of course, they're on top of us because of goal differential. Again, it's sad to see this happening. And also it's sad to see because we know, most of all Arsenal fans, we know that we could have avoided that loss. We could have won. We should have won. So on paper, going in to the London Derby, Arsenal looks good, player for player. Who do you know on their team? James Maddison? Maybe. Because he played for Leicester City before, so we know that he just moved. England International? Yes, we know him. But who else do you really know? Romeo? It's, a couple of players that we know. But look at their midfield, how they controlled it. Of course, their captain's son, which is, disheartening for Arsenal fans to see him shushing us like that. It's not a great look for us at the Emirates. And again, I'm going to analyze the game for you by being, hopefully trying to be neutral. But I'm also going to be pissed off at times when I speak of those things as an Arsenal fan, because we should have won this game. There is no doubt in my mind. But that is a big, manager's mistake that should have been talked about, a little bit more. I see, bits and pieces here on social media, fans that are really pissed off. But as we all know, for some reason, the English media backs Mikel Arteta and his choices. And today, let's go to the lineup. We're going to talk about the lineup and the first of his many mistakes managing these games. And again, we're always going to say managers lose games, players win games, and referees ruin games. But finally, we got an okay referee. We're not going to talk about the referee a whole lot. We're going to talk about one specific thing here about VAR, but when we get to it, but we're not going to talk about referees a whole lot of game, because that game, we gave it away. In my mind, we just gave it away. So let's go directly to the lineup. Ramsdale out, third game in a row. David Raya starts. Why? I have a big question mark about that. Why? Because if you saw David Raya's footwork, it's nothing near Ramsdale. Ramsdale is much more precise. His passes from the back. It's proven statistically that his passes out of the back is much better than David Raya. So that's the first thing I really will look at. I needed to see Ramsdale in this game because I think that Ramsdale deserved to be in this game, and I think he knows how this game means to Arsenal more than the new David Raya. Okay, let's leave the goalkeeper aside and let's go next to the back four. Started with William Saliba and Gabriel in the middle as two center backs. Right back, Ben White. Left back, Zinchenko. Okay, that looks great. Now let's go to the midfield. I saw Mikel Arteta starting Fabio Vieira in a North London derby. In a North London derby that you need to fight for and win, again, so you don't, slip away from City. They're running away. And us playing like that, we're never going to catch City. I tell you that much. Let's just be real. Aside from the process and the not process that I don't know where it's going to take you, the ones that talk about process, let's just be real here. Manchester City, if we are going to be playing like we played in front of Tottenham, we will never catch. Why? Just go see how they play and watch how we play. We lost the intensity of last year. Every game we don't do well, yeah, well, it's okay, we don't deserve this and nobody talks to them. No, we're not held responsible here. They can go out and draw in such an important game and it's okay. I don't like that. I like to hold players accountable. I like to hold the manager accountable so we can learn from our mistakes. This is Premier League. This is top flight football. This is an important competition. And you're not going to win it just because you're, tapping everybody on the shoulders and saying, yeah, it's okay. We love this player and love that player that made a mistake. Hey, listen, we should always love our players no matter what. But we should always also try and hold them accountable to mistakes they do. And if they're not ready, we shouldn't choose them. So let's go back to the midfield. Fabio Vieira with Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice behind him. Now, if you remember, I always talked about, no problem, 4 in the back, 1 holding midfielder. But that's when you're playing teams that you're going to keep, the ball against. Tottenham is not a team that's easy to deal with. They're quick on a counter-attack and they're very precise. And they're also, one of the very direct teams. So they could score on you right away in the flash of the eye. So we played 1 holding midfielder. And now Fabio Vieira, I don't know what Fabio Vieira's role was because I saw him all over the place. And then Martin Odegaard running by himself to the front. Again, I'm going to talk about bits and pieces from the game, but I want to also finish with the lineup. In the front, we saw Gabby Jesus on a flank, Eddie Nketiah in the middle, and Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. Okay. Nobody, of course, will talk about Bukayo Saka's selection. Let's go to these two, Eddie Nketiah and Gabby Jesus. It's the same player, almost, and they play the same position, always. Now I'm going to put them both. To me, they look like they were both playing the same thing. No creativity, no... Gabby Jesus got a ball turned around, sky-high'd it, no precision, no togetherness. There is no movement off the ball for them. I don't know if they played any sort of football. They were just like kids running around, no direction. So I'm not sure what they were told. Mikel Arteta always talks about changing the way we play during the game. But every time in the Tottenham game we changed the way we play, which I saw him trying to do a couple of 3 times, we actually changed it to the worse. So that tells me that your reading of the game is a bit off. I'm not sure, we see him and his assistant a lot having these side conversations. I don't know what happens in these conversations, but it seems like these conversations are not really giving us any positive results. Because again, that's a game we should have won. You chose the wrong team to start with. You have Emil Smith-Rowe outside and you play Fabio Vieira. What do you have against the Englishman? That's a question that I have to, as an Arsenal fan, ask Mikel Arteta, because I get asked this question so many times. I have an opinion. I don't have an answer. I don't have a legit answer to those who ask me that question. Emil Smith-Rowe should be starting or should be playing ahead of Fabio Vieira. Any football manager in the world will tell you that, right? Now, let's fast forward to our first goal, which was deflected by a Tottenham player. Bukayo Saka takes the ball from the right side, 26 minutes or so, and he tucks in like he always does, takes a shot, hits Romeo, and goes in the goal. So the first goal was a deflection. In my mind, center mid didn't play together as well. Kai Havertz was needed in this game. He's a big guy. You have him available. Again, Emil Smith-Rowe didn't play. I don't know why. A guy like Tomiyasu, you should have watched him versus, in the international, playing for Japan. World class. World class. In front of Germany, in front of Turkey, in front of heavy teams. You watch Tomiyasu, and he is lethal. So that's the time you need to play him. He refused to play him, and again, went with Fabio Vieira. So, a big question mark, the starting. And listen, that's just not my opinion. I give you the team sheet. You see the players available. You make your selection. I don't think I have anybody that told me I will start Fabio Vieira or even play him in the second half. Anyways, Let's go to the game. And again, Bukayo Saka, deflected goal. Okay. Then we fast forward. Bukayo Saka allows James Maddison to turn outside of the 18 for the Ben White that didn't want to defend. And he puts the ball for Son to score their first goal. This image gives me the chills because I have three players, Declan Rice, and I have Gabriel, and then Ben White, and Bukayo Saka that refused to defend the guy all the way, and he lets him do that, and then they score. Who's accountable? You know, that's a big team mistake. Who's accountable? That's a big question, right? We should not defend like that. That's just ugly football. Anyways, make the long story short, first half, I don't know if it was even eventful for me to talk about. But I'm going to talk about the penalty kick, second half. So we come in the second half and changes right away. We see Kai Havertz coming in, okay. Declan Rice said he had a back injury. So Jorginho came in for him. Again, another injury. Trossard, Martinelli, Declan Rice. What are they doing in training? How are these players managed? What's up with all the injuries all of a sudden? Again, a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks. Now we go to the second half. We get the penalty. And that's the one decision I wanted to talk about. Romeo falling down. Ben White turns around, take a shot. And Romeo's hand stops it from going into the goal. Now, just like I explained it, Romeo's hand stops it from going into the goal. That's a red card. That's a red card. However, VAR brought the play back. The ref didn't give it. VAR gave it. But you should have looked at also a possibility of preventing a goal-scoring opportunity. That's a red card. Right? It wasn't given. Bukayo Saka takes a scary penalty. He scores. Fantastic. Fantastic. We're 2-1 up. Thank you. Thank you, God. Now we can breathe. No. A minute after that, we go back into stealth mode. And we allow them to score again. By now, this time, a mistake from the guy that just came in, Jorginho. I mean, did you not warm up enough? I have to say it. You should not, on this level, lose the ball in the midfield, being the last player, to a team like Tottenham. Of course, they went on and punished us and scored the second goal again a minute after. Unbelievable. But the way Jorginho was standing as the last man and how he kept the ball long time tells me a whole lot about the team. The team didn't show up. I'm not going to really talk more about that game because right there and then, the ether was lost, the excitement. It was not pretty for us. It was not a good watch for Arsenal fans. Again, if you look now at the table, Manchester City has 18 points. Liverpool is sitting second with 16 points. And third, Brighton and Hove Albion, 15 points. Tottenham now 14 points ahead of us, and Arsenal is fifth with 14 points. Oh, it's early. It's this, it's that. Look, you're going to get to the end of the season, and you're going to remember that games like those, games like Fulham's game, games that we keep drawing, will cost you the Premier League because simply Mikel Arteta and his team is not going to make it up at the end. They lose more towards the end. So if you lose this way towards the beginning, points-wise, for just draws that you shouldn't have drawn, and then towards the end you run out of, gas or fuel or motivation or whatever it is, the lack of that we had last year towards the end of the season, and we bottled or fumbled or give away the Premier League and set the record as a team that sat on top of such a competition for this long and didn't win it. It's not good. It's not great. As an Arsenal fan, I know we won big PSV Eindhoven Champions League and we were all happy. That's a group stage Champions League, so let's see if we're going to be consistent with Champions League. But that's not that team that you saw playing Tottenham, playing a derby, one of the utmost intense games, and playing like that. It's not a team that's giving me sort of a confidence right now that we're going to go all the way this season. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we change those things. We have Brentford upcoming, English League Cup. Hopefully they don't take us out of that cup, so we don't go like last year and be like, oh, it's not important. Listen, let's just be clear. Every single competition that Arsenal Football Club plays in is important. There is no such a thing as this is not important. The Carabao Cup is not important, or AFL, or this or that, or the FA. Everything is important, and we should be going for everything. The most expensive squad in the world. You have amazing players, great players. Use them right, utilize them right, play the right selection. Please, play the right selections, and let's win these games that we should be winning. Come on, you Gunners. Please stop with this nonsensical lineups and starting 11. Let's just put the right ones. Let's put the right players always. Let's win. Let's win again, and let's get back to our glory. So let's make it happen. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share, and we'll see you next episode.